Welcome to Anne-Marie's Workshop. My name is Anne-Marie and I like to make things. If you like to make things, you are in exactly the right place. Please like, subscribe, and share. Well, welcome to my Friday Sews, hashtag Friday Sews. I love this forum. It's where you share what's going on around in your neck of the woods. I know we're having severe weather issues in certain parts of the world, but I still think we should continue on and share with other makers about the things we like to do over a week. So, as always, I want to address the forum topic, and the forum topic is, how do you manage your scraps? Oh boy, you picked exactly the right week to talk about how to manage your scraps. So as happens this particular week, I just happened to finish this quilt right here. And so therefore, I have scraps. So I'm going to take you through how I manage my scraps in my workshop. The first thing I do is I separate my scraps into pieces, like sizes. Like if there's enough to make another garment, then I'm off and running with it. I will fold it up, put it back in my 66 quart clear containers in whatever type, if it's cotton, household, linen, I will put that back there and save it for another time to be used with another garment if it's a substantial size. But when you have things like these little scraps and things like that, it's basically what the material is made of. If the scrap is from a synthetic material, then I have a bucket that I'll show you over here that I can keep all my synthetic fabrics in. But if it's cotton, then as being a quilter, I live on scraps. So as this is a quilt I've just finished, there are all of these scraps left over that I will put in my cotton bucket. And then there'll be several levels to what I do with those scraps as well, and I'll explain some of them to you. Okay, so this is my scrap bucket that I keep. It's a giant, I don't know how many quart container it is. It's on wheels. That I keep cotton material in. Things that I've made that are cotton that I can use for quilting and other projects. This bucket contains my synthetic things. You know, they're not 100% cotton. You know, they have some stretch, they have some polyester in them, and I have a plan usually for those. For my synthetics, I like to make these gumdrop pillows by Amy Butler, and I will fill them to capacity. They're great gifts for friends and family, and plus they stack and they're great to have around the house for people to put their feet on. I'll show a picture of how they look at when they're finally made somewhere over here. So I will either top up some of my gumdrops pillows that have settled and gotten flatter. I will top them up with some of these scraps, or I will make a fresh one. And also, because I keep a lot of projects active, sometimes I find that I need a little bit more fabric of something for a project I was working on. So it's just a matter of tracking down which gumdrop pillow has what fabric in it if I need a little thing to finish a project. Now, as for cotton, there's a whole world. Sometimes, because I like to work with squares on my borders of my quilt, I will cut these pieces into squares, and I'll show you what that looks like. So these are my 3" by 3" squares. I love to make borders with these fabrics. I separate them into my reds, my blues, my greens. These are all 100% cotton. So I will have these available for when I want to make a border. Now, as for these tiny, tiny scraps, you know, that you cut off with your rotary cutter and everything, and here's a bag of them. I save those because they're wonderful to stuff dolls. And so when I'm making a doll, I can stuff their little bodies with those little tiny cotton pieces. Hold on, let me get her hair out of her face. And so she will end up, she's more substantial. She's not as light. And, you know, kids like to hug something that is more substantial. So I will use those tiny scraps like these and these to stuff bears and dollies and things like that. Now, another way in which I manage my scraps is I have pieces of muslin that are left over, or I cut in strips. And if I have leftover quilted pieces, I will stitch them to whatever width of muslin. And then eventually, if I have enough strips of them from different quilting projects, I will stitch them together and make a hodgepodge quilt of all different types. And I love making a quilt like that every once in a while because it reminds me of the projects that I have worked on in the past. And so it's a very colorful quilt and it's very nice. I wish I could show you one, but someone's always walked off when they're finished. Someone's always taken them off. But these are all old quilt pieces that I had before. I also have them in narrower strips, and I'll show you that right now. Yeah, but it's the same concept. You know, you take the muslin and you attach the cotton strips to them, and then eventually you have enough to sew together to make yourself a really nice quilt. So as you can see, no scrap is safe from me. It all gets used. I do like that. I feel it's more sustainable. I know that I consume a lot because I buy a lot of fabric. So I like to make sure things work out. Quilts go to people who I love and people who need it. I used to make children's quilts when I was in America for the Children's Hospital. The dolls go to people at the Children's Hospital and other places. Scraps, you can make them into pot holders, you can make them into all sorts of things. And I'll try and do a few of those videos, like bags and things that you can use all your scraps for. And even little tiny things, like you can use them for stuffing. So every scrap finds a place in my studio. Now as to what happened in the workshop this week. Oh, well, first thing, last week we had a lightning strike. Not on our house, but on a pole that serviced our house. So I and my neighbors were without power. Well, we had power, but not enough unmetered voltage power. So what it did was it destroyed a few appliances, like a television, a VCR. It popped like about 12 light bulbs and stuff like that. And I was lucky it did not get my refrigerator, my freezer, or anything like that. I was very lucky. I had surge protector on top of surge protector, and that's what saved me, I think. And then as soon as we finally got ourselves sorted with that, it took about 2.5 days. The rain started from, at that time, Tropical Storm Ian. Jamaica got a glancing blow, and we've got mudslides and flooding and lots of damage, but nothing compared to what's going on in Florida. And at that point, we lost internet and cable. And so that just gave me more opportunity to cut things out because we had light and everything. So I always have stuff to do. So I felt bad for my dad because he's ill. He loves to watch his cricket or his golf or his or westerns. And he didn't have anything, but he rested a lot, he said. And so finally he thought he could do without his TV. Because the TV died. The electrician came after they restored electricity, and I said, well, you think his TV? And he was like, TV's gone. So I took him on Friday morning when he was feeling good, and we went and bought him another television just in time for the cable to go out. Anyway, I digress. So after that point, I cut out quite a lot of things that I'm going to use. I'm very excited about that jumpsuit challenge that's coming up. And I finished my Nigerian women quilt. And I have to thank my sewing community for that, because if I didn't get hooked into the planning videos, if I didn't put myself on a schedule, it wouldn't have happened. So I will insert pictures of my finished quilt, Nigerian women, over here. I'm delighted with it. I hope my daughter Nicole is not watching this video because it's coming to her house. So I hope she's not watching it. I know she's proud of me, but I don't think she watches every video I have. And speaking of scraps, the scraps left for that quilt, I'm going to make her a very large pillow that she can put on her couch or something like that. So that's what's going on with that. Oh, I do have a couple things. Weather emergencies aside, I have to admit, my focus a lot this month really was Dress a Girl Around the World. I enjoyed it so much. I'll insert that really quick video right here in case anyone on the planet has not seen these dresses I made, but I'm pretty sure y'all have seen it. But I'll insert it right here because it goes pretty fast. And that was such a joy. I used to just do 2 dresses a month, but being part of a community where a whole bunch of us were making it, I don't know how many so far, but I know it's more than 800, I'm pretty sure. And I roped 2 of my dear friends, Linda and Jimmy Kay. They each made about 5 or 6 dresses. So with my 17 or 18, that's got to have added to the mix. So I'm excited, especially now with all of this weather things. Mari did share that some people have lost everything. They're going to need some dresses, you know, and it's Florida, so timely. I'm really pleased. So I'm just going to go back to my 2 dresses a month and wait for next year and find out what we're sewing then. But that was my main focus, and that kind of finished for me this week. Now, y'all know I've been doing my Christmas sewing, and so I finished my Christmas bags. They're really cute. I made them with this burlap from fabricmart. I had scrap left over for the inside, so it had like Christmas themes inside and a bottom. And I think I'll throw a few pictures of them up here. I made about maybe 9 or 10 from that length of, maybe 15. Yeah, I think I made 15, but I think they're a really nice gift for someone special in your life. It's a permanent bag and they can use it for all sorts of things. I'm into this bag thing now, y'all. I really like it. I've always cut them out, but I haven't finished a lot. I think I have as many bag patterns as I have jumpsuit patterns, and that's saying something. Now, last night, I kind of considered it my last night of sewing. I'm still working on the Ogden cami jumpsuit video, which should be finished, and probably put that out next week or the week after. But I was on live with the lovely Cherie from Cherie's Alchemy, and it was so nice to sew along with her. I have a sew along group on Friday evening sew, but it was wonderful to sew along with her. I love her spirit, her humor, and there's a lot of people who are subscribers to me that are subscribers to her that I saw in the chat. So I pulled out, I had one last reversible skirt that I'll insert a picture of the first reversible skirt that I did over here so you can see what they look like. I thought I had enough to make 2. I thought they would be lovely with like a black bodysuit or a black turtleneck entertainment like skirts, because my daughter entertains a lot. But no, it was just the skirt is really, really full. It wasn't 2 skirts. I couldn't make one for my daughter and my daughter-in-law because it only made 1 skirt. So I will have to figure it out. I did get a few things in from shipping, some things that I'd like to share with you. I got a few books. I like to curate, and so I got some Patrick Lowe's books that I hadn't had before. I really love his graphics. Let me see. And I also got some patterns from Something Delightful, some Vogue patterns. I missed out on the simplicity, y'all. I'm not in America, so I missed out. I missed the dates to order them. And then when my daughter went to go get some from Joanne, she said she only got 2. And y'all, I gave her quite the list. But she said she only found 2. So I said, never mind, never mind. I'll look for it when I come to America. But that's it around the workshop. It's been a wonderful week. It was a wonderful month. Did a lot of great things, talked with people and friends and new subscribers, and I enjoyed it so much. I love to answer my comments in my videos, but that 5-day kind of knocked me out. So I'll hopefully catch up with all of y'all, but I might not. You might just get a little heart because that 5-day not having a way to communicate kind of knocked me out. But it let me know that having a wonderful hobby like sewing, as long as you have electricity, and even if you don't have electricity, it's a perfect time to cut things out and do handwork, really served me well during this week. I will see you next Friday. In the meantime, keep well. If you are going through this hurricane, my prayers go with you and your family, and we will see you next Friday. Go.